Y'all got a second?
Yeah.
Right? So, one thing I want to ask you, what's your nationality? What would you guys, what's your race? What would you consider yourself to be? Right? What would you say, sister? You say the same thing?
Yeah.
What would you say, young brother? You say the same thing? Right? So, African American, where does that term come from?
I have no idea.
Right? So, Africa comes from the name Leo Scipios Africanus. Right? That's a Roman general. He conquered that land in the Second Punic War when he defeated Hannibal.
That's right.
Right? Which was a so-called black man. Right? America comes from Leo Americos Vespucci. He was an Italian map maker. Right? So you calling yourself African American, you'll be destroyed for a lack of knowledge because you're calling yourself after two European men. And by the looks of the color of your skin, you don't come from European men.
True.
Right? So we gotta find out, it's imperative that we find out who we truly are. Right? Because do you find African American in the Bible? The Holy Bible. Do you find that? So we gotta find out what the Most High God calls us. Right? And
Right.
If you give me a second, you know, I can show you who you truly are according to the scripture. Right? So we're gonna, you know, through the spirit, we're gonna bring it out. Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 26.
Right? Before you get that, y'all know the story of Moses?
Yes.
Moses, you know, what did Moses do? Right. So, who was with him when he parted the Red Sea?
Now that I don't know.
Right. So, before we get that, somebody give me Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
I got it. We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto who?
All Israel.
So who is Moses speaking to? Right. So the whole book of Deuteronomy pertains to
It's okay, they do that deliberately. They do that
Yeah,
deliberately.
I just said
They don't want you to hear the word.
So Moses, the whole book of Deuteronomy is deliberately talking to the Israelites. Right? So the people that were with Moses were the Israelites. And this is after the Exodus, after they left Egypt. Right? Because he told Pharaoh, let my people go, and he parted the Red Sea. So this is after that. And we're gonna explain what he said to them. Give me Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 26.
Right?
And it reads, Behold, I will set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
Right. He said, he gave them two choices. Right? So he said, you got a blessing and you got a curse. Let's get the blessing.
Verse 27.
All right.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God, Yahweh, which I command you this day.
So he said, you're going to be blessed if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God. So contrary to popular belief, he's not the God of everybody. Because like I just stated, he's talking to Israel only. Right?
Yeah.
So walk with me. I'm gonna take you down a little path, right? So bear with me. So he's talking to his people, Moses. So Moses would be a so-called black man, right? So he's talking to Israelites. He said, I set before you a blessing, right? If you keep the commandments of the Lord, your God, which I command you this day. Why, let's get the curse.
Verse 28. And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, Yahweh, but turn aside of the way which I commanded you this day, to go after other gods which ye have not known.
So he told them, if you don't keep the commandments of the Lord your God, you're going to be cursed. Right? So let's see what the curse is, right? So if you look at our people as a nation of people, are we blessed or are we cursed?
As a nation.
As a nation, as a whole.
That's all to say. I was,
As a whole nation.
the whole nation, I would say curse.
You would say curse.
Yeah.
Good.
That's right.
Very good.
Let's get the curse that was put on the Israelites, God's chosen people. Because God does have a chosen people.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15, and it reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God."
What does the word hearken mean? So the root word of hearken is hear.
Okay.
So he told them, if you don't hear or listen to the voice of the Lord your God, what's going to happen?
To observe, to do all his commandments
To observe all his commandments and do them.
and his
right?
statutes, which I command thee this day.
All right, what's going to happen?
That all these curses,
All these what?
that all these curses,
All these curses. We can agree that a curse, we said we're cursed as a people.
Yeah.
A curse is a bad thing.
Bad.
Keep reading.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if you don't, Israelites, don't listen to the voice of the Lord your God and keep his commandments, all these curses are going to come upon you.
Wake them up.
Not only are they going to come upon you, they're going to overtake you, meaning that you're not going to be able to do anything about these curses. You can't escape them, right? No matter what you do, right? So through the Spirit, we're going to get some curses, and you tell me if this is your history or if this history belongs to anybody else on a place of planet on the earth.
Precept.
Right? Bring it out.
This is talking about the curses now. And they, the curses, and they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So the curses are going to be upon you for a sign, meaning when you read these curses, you're going to be able to pinpoint who these people are that Moses is speaking to today, right? Keep reading.
And for a wonder,
And for a wonder.
and upon thy seed forever.
So what's your seed?
See,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. You talking about child?
That's the seed.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's what we were talking about.
Right,
I was
yeah,
saying-
right, yeah.
Okay.
So your seed, so the curses are going to be upon your seed. For how long?
Oh, I'm sorry. Seed forever.
How long?
Forever.
So when you're reading these curses, even right now in 2020, you're going to be able to pinpoint who the children of Israel are through the curses. Right? So let's get some curses. Let's go to verse 16.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 16. Bring it up.
Yeah.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Uh-huh.
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So Moses told the Israelites, his people, that you're going to be cursed in the cities. You just said, right, that our people are cursed.
Yeah.
That's Moses speaking to the Israelites. He's not speaking to African Americans. He's not speaking to so-called black men. He's speaking to the Israelites, God's chosen people.
That's right.
Right? So he said, you're going to be cursed in the city, and where else?
And cursed, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So he told the Israelites, if you don't keep the commandments of the Lord, you're going to be cursed in the city and in the field. So your ancestors, how were they doing in the field?
That's good.
Come look at this right in history, you know. Isn't these your ancestors?
Yeah.
That's cursed, right?
Yeah.
Because they were getting beaten, whipped, you know, in the field. So Moses told the Israelites that was going to happen to them. Keep in mind that Moses wrote this 4,000 years ago. But this happened 400 years ago.
That's right.
That's called prophecy, right? Because he wrote it and it came to pass in the future. So according to that curse, you will be an Israelite because your people are cursed in the cities and cursed in the field. And your brothers, the so-called Hispanics, they're in the fields today working for 75 cents an hour. So I'm going to keep reading some more curses to, you know, furthermore, prove that you're an Israelite, brothers and sisters. Right? Give me verse 48.
Verse 48. Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies.
So the Lord said, you're going to serve your enemies for not keeping the commandments. Right? How are you going to serve your enemies? Keep reading.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And the Lord is going to send these enemies against you because you're not doing what he said. Right?
In hunger.
In hunger, meaning whatever you want to eat, you're going to have to go to your enemies to get it. In slavery, our ancestors, they said, Master, I'm hungry, right? I need something to eat, right? Today, where did you get your food from? Y'all ate something today?
Yeah.
Where did you get that food from?
Restaurant.
Who owns those restaurants?
Yeah.
Is it our people?
No.
So the Lord said you're going to have to serve your enemies, right? Keep reading. How is he going to serve your enemies?
In thirst.
In thirst. When you want anything to drink, you're going to have to get it from your enemies. Our ancestors, when they wanted something to drink, Master, I'm thirsty. I need some water to quench my thirst. I've been out here slaving all day. I need something to drink. They had to go to their enemy to get it. When you want something to drink, brother, sister, young king, where do you go to get your drink? Who do you get your drink from?
Yeah.
Who do you have to pay? Right?
Yeah.
The Most High,
I understand what you're saying.
I'm going to explain it to you a little bit more. The Most High makes it rain, right? Rain falls freely from the sky.
Yeah.
But if you put a bucket outside and you get caught, you know, collecting that water, you only get a fine in your mailbox. And if you don't pay that fine, you're going to jail. Right?
No.
Think about that.
You didn't know that, huh? I know.
How else are you going to serve your enemies?
In nakedness.
And nakedness, meaning anything you know, your clothes on your back. Our ancestors, Master, I need some, you know, a shirt or something to put on my back. I'm cold. Right? I need some pants. I got holes in my pants. Nike. Who owns Nike?
White man.
Who owns Adidas?
White man. Yeah.
Who owns any, no, even if you got your own business, where do you get the fabric from? You don't get it from a brother that looks like me or you. You get it from your enemy, according to the Lord. Right? How else are you going to serve your enemies?
And in want of all things.
So anything you want, wherever you go, you're going to have to get it from your enemy. Your driver's license, your marriage license, your education, right? Even your history, to a certain standpoint. Your Medicaid, you know, your protection, the army, the people you depend on to protect you, pharmaceuticals. You got to go to your enemy to get it. We don't even have a seat in the so-called UN.
There you go.
We don't have no support for ourselves. Why? You're going to have to get it from your enemy. The so-called Africans, they are not our people. Right? Because what have they done for us over here in this land? Not a thing. And you're going to find out through the scriptures that they sold you to your enemy. That's what you call the slave trade. Right? Because they rallied us up. Right? Because they hated us. Why? Because we're God's chosen people. They knew that. Right? And they still know that to this day. They know that we're God's chosen people.
Right.
Right? So back in, you know, ancient times, they sold us. So we didn't sell our own people. We don't do that. That's not us. That has to be from your enemy. Right? Somebody that hates you. So they rallied us up and sold us to the white man. Them and the so-called Arabs. That would be a so-called slave trade. Right? The sub-Saharan slave trade, the Silk Road slave trade. What's the other one? The transatlantic slave trade. Right? They sold us to our enemy. Right? How else are you going to serve your enemy? That was
Okay,
on that?
no, here we go. And he shall put.
Right? It's getting very, very descriptive.
Yeah,
Specific. It said, and he, you said a while ago that was a so-called white man, but we don't know that for sure. You know, we could be, you know, telling the fib, right? We could be lying. But he said he, right? What's this he gonna do?
He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. And go ahead. Yoke of
So
iron.
what nation of people put a yoke of iron upon our ancestors' neck? Who did this to us? That would be what you said earlier, the so-called white man.
They never read this to you in the Bible, bro.
You never heard this in the Christian church before, right?
They don't want you to know it.
They don't want you to know the truth about yourself, that you're God's chosen people.
That's right.
Right? So the nation of people that put these yokes of iron upon our necks, according to the Most High, they will be our enemies. But we're going to keep reading and expounding on that, right? Keep reading.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Right? So you don't have, we don't have chains on our necks, or yoke of iron on our necks.
Today.
Or our, shackles on our feet today. Why? Because we are destroyed. That's why you call yourself a so-called African American. Right?
A color.
Or color.
And I know you heard Negro.
A color out of a crayon box. That's what black is. How can you be of a nationality of black? Where is the land of black? You can't find it on any map. Anywhere.
Go to the airport now. I want a ticket to the land of black.
They're going to look at you like you crazy. Because there's no land of black. The Lord said, you are Israelites, my chosen people. I have chosen you to be a special people unto myself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. So you will be Israelites, right? We're going to keep getting some more to expound on that, right? So these people that put yokes of iron on our necks, they will be our enemies, right? These people, they will be our enemies according to the scripture. Not our friends, not our buddies. The Lord said they are our enemies. Your enemy, only your enemy, will put a yoke of iron upon your neck and beat you until you can barely walk. Right? You got a precept?
No, I was going to.
Right? Only your enemy will put you in slavery and carry you in a boat, right, for four months, right, to a land that you've never seen before. Only your enemy will do that to you, right? Let's get another curse. Give me what you about to get.
We gotta go now. I appreciate it.
Right? So
Last one.
verse 68. Yeah, let me get this last one.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord said, you Israelites, if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to bring you into Egypt again. So what were the Israelites doing in Egypt? For Moses to have to come free them. Right? He said, let my people go. What were they doing?
Slaves.
Exactly.
Slaves. So the Lord said, I'm going to bring you back into slavery again. How did your ancestors get over it? What part of transportation? On boat. Keep reading.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Again, with what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
So the Lord said, you Israelites, if you don't keep my commandments, I'm going to send you into slavery again with ships. That happened to your ancestors. Right? You will put on the bottom of ships, stacked on top of each other, right? Where you defecated on each other. The women had they menstrual cycle on each other on the boat. Right? So that's what the Lord said is going to happen to you Israelites if you don't keep my commandments. That's a punishment, right? We were sent into slavery, right? We're still in slavery to this day because we still have to pay taxes to the government. So you're not free contrary to popular belief, right? Keep reading.
And ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee,
right? The same way Moses told them it was going to happen 4,000 years ago.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
You've never seen a homeland. Have we ever seen a homeland again?
And there ye shall be sold.
And when you get off these slave ships, you are going to be sold. By our ancestors sold. Market Square down there. They were sold. Right? Who you going to be sold to? Right? You said white people.
Yeah, what the Bible says.
What the Bible say?
Okay. Shall be sold to your enemy.
To your who?
Enemy.
So that's the Lord saying multiple times that these people are your enemies. Your literal enemies.
That's in the Bible.
Your literal enemies. So there's a war going on between you and your enemies. So you have to find, it's imperative that you find out who you truly are. Why? Because you have an enemy. And if you don't know who you are, you're not going to know who your enemies are. So the Lord says
that's right.
that the people that put you in slavery put yokes of iron on your neck. The people you have to get everything that you want from are your enemies. Contrary to popular belief, saying that we are all one, you know.
Can we get along?
Can't we get along? How can I get along with people that did this to my people? How can I get along with people that, you know, rape, robbed, and murdered my ancestors?
They're still killing us today.
And to this very day, they're doing the same exact thing. Hanging us on trees, shooting us in the back, right? Bring a piece about, brother.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Right.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel
Right.
by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right. So these people, they're shedding the blood of the children of Israel,
Even
God's
today.
chosen people, even to this very day.
That's right.
Right? So you marching up and down the street with these people saying Black Lives Matter when black is just the color in the crayon box. Right? So what is black? Black is nothing. You are the children of Israel,
Right.
God's chosen people.
That's right!